Hi folks, welcome to my humble homestead in the forest, and today zero waste, some zero waste ideas plus Ziploc, plus if you're it is winter and soon some of you will be able to sow your seeds early for spring or early spring. Let's talk about that right now. This is not a sponsored video. I don't have any sponsors. That's why I'm not really showing you the name of. Oh, I guess I am showing you. Oh, no matter which way I turn it. Anyway, this way. I'm not showing you the name of the maker of this milk carton, but it doesn't have to be a milk carton. It can be a juice carton that's the same size, or the bigger ones. These Terra packs. What you could do is cut them in half or just the top off, fill them with soil and sow your seeds in there. The reason I say that is because, I mean, as far as the height goes, if it's lower, well, the thing is, whatever you're sowing in, sorry, it's the rain falling off it's kind of a drizzly, rainy day today, even though there's snow all around me, it's rain as well. So if you were to have a shallower container, the roots would, at the rate that they're growing, the roots would outgrow their living space. So if you were to have bigger space all the way up to here, in fact, then you have all of that filled with soil, or even up to this line in soil, and the roots have more room to get going. And so when you go to plant them outside in whenever your zone allows, then the roots will be well established. So that's one idea if you want to throw these out, any kind of a Terra pack. So that's that. And the other thing is Ziplocs. I'm pretty sure no matter where you live, you're familiar with the company Ziploc. And, you know, they have these clear bags. And 40 years ago, they had like a sort of a flap over kind of thing, and maybe you needed to wrap an elastic on it. And then they came up with these zips, sort of they're not a zip, but like a two, like a opposing sort of a plastic parallel that would run. One would have one parallel, one would have two, and they would lock into each other, and they would form a seal. You can do that. I'm not, again, like I'm saying, this is not a sponsored video. You could do that, and that is an option that most people use. But if you're interested in zero waste, if you're interested in not throwing, reducing your garbage, one idea is, and this is a brilliant idea we use a lot here at our house, is that, I'm trying not to show you the name of this, but I will in a minute if you like. It could be a review too. These things. This particular bag is for a bag of pierogies, or if you're Russian, my grandma used to call them piroshkis. What it is that they come in with these. The bags are really tough, really tough. And this is the thing for, if you're in a survival mode, this is preppers. If you're listening, the plastics aren't going to go anywhere. I mean, some places you can, some cities you can recycle them, some places you can't recycle them. Nonetheless, it's really well constructed plastic bag. I don't want to say as opposed to Ziplocs or for a different purpose, maybe a single use, I'm not sure, but certainly they're clear so you can see what's inside. These ones are not clear, but the construction of them is so heavy duty. I just can't imagine throwing these out. So what we do with these, when we make our pie crusts, our sourdough pie crusts, that's one of the uses, and I'll tell you more of the uses. So we make them, and then we put a label on it as to what it is, and the date, because we make more pie crust we make, and it goes in the freezer, we won't know which one's fresher. And in each one of these, we have so many of these, and we put two. So then, that's in a saran wrap or not, that's up to you. So it goes in there, and it completely protects it because it's so thick. completely protects it in the freezer. Whereas opposed to if you were to use a Ziploc bag, well, because they're thinner and they're more, I don't want to say single use, but they're more, they break down sooner. Whereas these ones don't, so you put them in there, fold them maybe in half, goes into the freezer. Another use that I use them for is at the end of the season, which we just came to not long ago. If I have kale, when I chop kale, when I harvest kale, spinach, hey, even when you have garlic, because your garlic, you don't want your garlic to have be exposed to this is fresh garlic for storage. You don't want them to be exposed to air, so you can put them in containers like this, and put one of those in packages when sometimes the packages come with like seaweed, for instance, the one that my daughter uses that I have the most of. So there's like a package that sucks the humidity, so it doesn't get it doesn't pick up humidity, whatever that product is. Or sometimes you get something that comes to you in the mail in a box and has one of those little packets. You can throw one of them in there, and then when you put your garlic or whatever it is you have in here, squeeze the air out as much as you can, and then you use this. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me see. Put it next to my mic. Against the drop from the ceiling, and then it forms this seal. And because this plastic container or packaging is so hard and heavy duty, they've also gone to the extent of making that zip construction heavy duty. And so you can use these and reuse these and reuse these and reuse them enough to, when pretty bad, then we throw them out or in the recycling. But we have enough that we don't even need to. So I say you can chop up your vegetables, your herbs, your whatever it is that you want to put in the freezer, or even like I said, even like garlic that you may not want to freeze, or you want to freeze or not want to freeze, keep them fresh, can go in here. There's so many uses for these things. Okay, this particular one, in case you want to know, it's called Hellman pierogies. This was you can get, I don't know where you can get these from where you live. A review of this, I would say 3 out of 5 stars. It does say that it's vegan certified, but doesn't really. This one's potato, spinach, and feta. No trans fats, low cholesterol, 40 pierogies. For what you pay for these things, and I'm not trying to put a cap on anyone's earning. For what they cost, if they're on sale, maybe a better buy. They're about this big, each one. So I would say 3 out of 5 stars, maybe 4, depending on how much you like pierogies. If you prefer to make your own pierogies at home or not. I remember when my grandma used to, when I was little, she used to babysit me. And with the other neighborhood grandmas, they would sit together, and I always loved. They would chit chat and reminisce about the old days, and they would make these pierogies or piroshkis, and they would have meat in them, or sometimes barberry in them, and different things, garlic, and they would cut it, and they would crimp it and all that. It takes me back. Anyway, hope this video was helpful to you. Try to use as much as you can over and over again. So reuse, repurpose, whatever. And if you have, it doesn't have to be for food. It can be, if you're, like I said, preppers for seeds. It can be for your tools, for your nuts and bolts and whatever, screws and that. It's pretty hard, pretty tough that they can hold on to a decent amount of weight too. If you have any other uses for these containers or even these Terra packs, and let me know, because I haven't cornered the market on them, and I'm sure other people would like to know different uses.